I want to give you some helpful tips to diagnose electrical problems that you may have on your boat. It's much different than a car. The wiring on a car is set up very similar, but the difference is on a fiberglass boat, the battery is your only source of ground. So it's your hot and your ground, and you have to make sure that you're getting a good connection. That's your very first start. If you're having electrical issues, go back into the battery and start there. Make sure that your battery is charged up and hot like it's supposed to be. Put it on a tester, do whatever you got to do to make sure that that's not your problem, and then start checking your wires connecting to the battery. I found corroded wires directly connected to the battery that you could just bend and they would break in two. So we just had to cut them off, put a new end on it, and go again. But anytime you got exposure to moisture, especially salt air, salt water out running, you're going to have issues like that to pop up. You can use things, heat shrink tubing. It comes in long lengths, short lengths, and you can use that. Just take your little cigarette lighter or some kind of something hot, blow dryer or something like that. The hotter it gets, it'll start to shrink, and it'll shrink around those wires to lessen the probability of moisture getting inside the line. And so that's a good idea to put heat shrink tubing. Anytime you make a new connection, I would put it around it. If you have to cut a wire in two and put it back together, I would put heat shrink tubing around it, and you can wrap that with electrical tape on top of it. So you're going to try to eliminate water getting inside to touch the actual metal wires. Those are some of your enemies. But when you get up to the front of your boat, wherever your main wiring area is, you're going to have a tower. It's going to be the left side is going to be ground, right side will be hot, negative and positive. Get your little test light like this right here. Don't have to be anything simple, and check the top of the tower to make sure you got electricity coming in there. Or yet you get a voltage meter. This is just easier because when you touch it and the little light comes on, you know that you got power there. Now when you get the voltage meter, it's going to tell you how much power is there. So you can eliminate. So you want to start with the back side of the boat, work your way up to the front side of it, and then you'll get down to whatever particular issue that you have, whether it's with a radio, whether it's with you know, any particular item on the boat. But if you don't have a good ground from the back of the motor up to the front, that's not gonna, you're gonna lose power there. And also, if you don't have a good connection on your positive side from the back all the way to the front, that's gonna, I've had some issues before, and even when you let your boat sit for a long time, 6 months over the winter or something like that, check the cables really good, clean them off, make sure your battery's hot. I thought my battery was dead this summer when I went to crank it up for the first time, and there was nothing wrong with it. I just had a little bit of corrosion on the connection. Wasn't getting enough power. So took the connections off, cleaned them off, charged the battery back up, which it didn't need charging because it was already charged, and everything was fine. Been using it all summer, no problem. But those are the kind of issues that's going to pop up And if you take it to a marine mechanic somewhere, you know, you'll find out that you could have saved yourself some money have you just checked those simple things. Keep storage areas, wiring areas as dry as you possibly can. Try not to splash any water on them, especially salt water. That causes, you know, things to rust and corrode and those kind of things. But if you'll keep those little things in mind about your wiring, and check your wiring to make sure it's not laying down in the bottom of the boat. Get you some little zip ties and make sure it's secured up where it can't be, you know, in water. So those things are going to help you out tremendously when it comes to keeping your wiring on your boat in good condition. And I hope that'll help you, because if you have a wiring issue, it can be a real pain.